Hi, I'm Juliet. Last week we spoke about book front matter. Today we're talking about back matter, which is everything included after the end of the main part of your book. These are the main elements that you can include, and they can be quite different depending on whether your book is fiction or non-fiction, which is why I'm splitting back matter into parts. This week is some general information that applies to both fiction and non-fiction, and then some fiction-specific items. Next week will be specific non-fiction items. Now, back matter for an independent author can be quite different from that of a traditional book, especially when it comes to an e-book. It is generally considered good practice for the first back matter item to be a call to action for readers. What does this mean? Well, it's asking the reader to do something which will benefit you, so you need to get it right. It really depends how you treat book publishing as to what you choose. Many of these work better for ebooks, as you can provide links. Your main options are a clickable link to your next book. Now, this can be problematic if you upload to multiple websites, because you can only link to that retailer's book, and would therefore need multiple versions of your ebook. I used to do this. I don't anymore. Draft2Digital does have a service where they can automatically provide notifications to readers about new books published, which is a good choice if you want this kind of link. Alternatively, you can simply have a non-clickable list of your books, as some retailers automatically provide links to other books of yours at the end of an ebook. Obviously, a list of books is the option you would use for a paperback. You could also provide cover images. Traditional books seem to love this option. However, if you're likely to change your covers from time to time, you might not want to. A request for people to sign up to your mailing list. Once again, this works better as an ebook, as you can provide a clickable link. If you want to put this into a paperback, try to make sure the link is not too complicated, or alternatively send people to your website and have the link on that first page. If you choose this option, you need to give people a good reason to sign up. In other words, how does it benefit them? And to be honest about how often you are likely to email them. A straightforward link to your website. This can be good for showing people the entirety of your book catalogue and give them more information about your writing. You may be able to think of other calls to action, especially if you write non-fiction, where you may have a course or consulting to offer to your readers. Whatever you choose, make the path as few clicks as possible, just one if you can. It is generally considered wise to only include one call to action, because if you ask people to do too many things, they get confused and distracted and might end up doing nothing. Another general item is an About the Author page. This can contain a short biography, links to websites and social media, and anything else important about the author. You might want to include acknowledgements. These can be everything from people who worked with you on the book, to friends and family who supported you, to resources you used, although for non-fiction this latter will probably be broken down into more specific sections. If you're writing a book for children, you might want to include some discussion questions. And although this is more often a fiction thing, you can include a chapter of the next book as a teaser for readers. This is only really appropriate for ebooks, because doing it in a paperback will unnecessarily increase the cost of the book. However, even in an ebook, you don't want this to increase the length of the book by much. I would say anything over 5% is way too much. Some authors like to add an author's note to their books, where they talk about the book the reader has just read, and perhaps about the next one. Depending on the style of the book, these can be quite chatty or more formal. You could also combine this with the About the Author or the call to action. Now, onto some fiction-specific items. Sometimes authors include character lists, a list of names with a brief description of their relationship to others. Book chronology is also an option if you're writing a series and want people to read in the correct order. The order in which you put these things, I think, is largely up to you, apart from the fact that any call to action should be the first thing. After that, it's what you consider most important that should come next. Looking through a few fiction titles at the back matter, there is very little in most. So perhaps independent author back matter is better when it comes to fiction. Next week I'll cover a few non-fiction back matter elements, which will be here once it's live.